Welcome to my channel. If you're new here and or haven't subscribed yet, please do so via the thumbnail in the bottom right corner. As you can see, this video is focused on the RaspberryPi2 connected to a fischertechnik camera and with a bent cable to this breadboard with a fischertechnik photoresistor, as well as an analog to digital converter, and also with a network cable and a serial cable. And the idea is twofold. First, to read a nice value from this photoresistor, and of course also to grab a nice image with this camera and see what I can do with it. So in order to get things nicely on screen, screencast is next. As I already said, screencast with VNC. In the VNC I have actually two windows, two terminals, whatever you call it. Guvcview, same thing like this one, but this is strictly bound to the Raspberry Pi, which is actually fed by this connector here. So this is the view from the fischertechnik camera connected to the Raspberry Pi. This is the source code I used to read from this photoresistor, not a transistor, and this is for running the code. Then minicom connection to be able to start the VNC software, which I could also do using SSH, but a serial, old-fashioned, old technique still works. Then this camera is connected to the computer, and a nice overview, although you can't see the camera, so I'll lift this camera and then you can see the camera. This camera, which I have in my hand, is exactly the same model. Anyway, that's one thing. Next, the code. Last time I used GPIO.board, which causes a change in the GPIO setup to read the actual pins and not the names that the Raspberry Pi has set to it. So if I use the pin numbers with board, I have the physical pin 11, physical 13, physical 15, 23 and 24. When I use BCM, I use the GPIO name 17, 27, 22, 23 and 8. In order to use this photoresistor, I took some code which gave only one and no usable number. So in preparation I changed it like this, but I still have to change the numbers. So let me change them, hopefully quickly enough. This has to be 27, has to be 22. Here I go to 11, and this is 8. Then, because of the change, I will have to change this to 22. This also 22, and input 13 changes into 27. So that's one thing. Let's run and see how it works out. Gives 1. I put my finger on it. and I have to scroll down somehow. Okay, still 1. This is not what I envisioned at all. So despite the fact that it seems to work on the internet, it doesn't work out for me as yet, which is too bad. What to do next? Alright, so two things, changes. First of all, I have changed the coder after I found that I didn't even call this part of the coder. So I now call it using this input, and the result is still not quite as it should be, because now instead of 1 it is 0 and not an actual resistor code. Resistor value actually. The other change is that I now use VLC media player, which has a wider screen, but it has also a possibility to stream, and unfortunately I haven't been able to set up the stream yet, but this also works, and probably better than guvcview. So if I can make it so that I use VLC on one end and VLC on the other end to actually stream and receive the stream, it would be nice. But that's not yet the case. So what is most important? That I use the camera? Yes, because actually it is about using the camera on the Raspberry Pi 2. If I can use this one, it would be nice. So let's see how I can use this one and use this one at the same time. This is guvcview, as you can see, so I have to make it so. And I know with another project I tried to do the same in the past, which didn't work out. So let's see how this works out in this case. And it's not really working. The streaming from the camera. Now keep in mind that it is a Raspberry Pi 2 actually, but the camera is a USB camera, and there is a difference. Now I will close this one, so I'll have this one instead again, although this gives a clear example of that it is not working. So searching for it, turns out that apparently you are supposed to use the Raspberry Pi camera to stream from the Raspberry Pi. And if you're following my videos from the Raspberry Pi 1, I manage, because it is the Raspberry Pi camera, and then I stream perfectly, in high definition even, using this board. However, let me put this down. Now I'm using not a Raspberry Pi camera but a USB camera, and even that using VLC I still have managed, despite many examples. So that is really too bad. I won't give up, it should be working, but until now apparently the Raspberry Pi camera is obviously ultimately designed for use with it, and I've only one and will not transfer it yet. So that being said, let me move it aside. Then again this one, why doesn't it work? Oh, by the way, can I record anything on here? Yes, I can. Tools. I should be able to playback and record, but I can do a record from this one if I use not guvcview but VLC, and then I can make a recording. Anyway, back here, this doesn't work and I would like to do that. A final note for now on the camera. I have tried RaspberryPi, and of course it said the camera is not enabled in this build. Use the setup to enable the Raspberry Pi camera. However, I don't have one on this Raspberry Pi 2, so that's no use. Anyway, I have now added a line here to just print the raw input of 27, which is pin 13, to which the LDR is attached, and to see what is the difference. So let's run this, and that says 1 and 0. Now I don't believe it is 0, but the question is, does the ADC, analog to digital converter, actually work? And that's a very good question. So looking at the wiring, this that is about it. That's also about it. So can I put this this LED somehow right here, so it would indicate that it actually works. Let me just put it here. And it gives clearly, can you see it? No, you cannot, because through the camera I can't see it either, but I can see there's voltage over it because it's working. And putting my finger on the resistor, it makes no difference. Moving the camera, the light away, not the camera of course. Okay, disconnect. Yeah, okay. So things clearly do work. Is it better to use a resistor? I'm not sure yet, but right now there's clearly voltage coming out of the analog to digital converter. So that is a part that works. It is clearly the reading that's having a problem. Ouch. But yeah, how to fix that? Good question. And yes, that is it for now. So one working LED but no clear signal over here, and an experiment with streaming the video to my laptop. Not really working. Not working at all. But if you like this video anyway, please do subscribe to my channel via the thumbnail in the bottom right corner. Please leave a comment or suggestion under the video, very much appreciated. You can also follow me via Twitter and Instagram. And please support by either becoming a patron or make a donation via PayPal or IBAN, and you don't need an account for PayPal to do that. This is obviously going to be continued, and for now, stay safe, take care, bye.